G'day everybody, where's Wally here? Well, first of all, a big thanks to Bob the Science Guy. That was a real rush the last 24 hours, all those extra subs. Much good fun was had watching that happening. Well, I came across this small channel, Jimbo Joe, and he's only got 444 subs, and I reckon he needs a lot more because he had me in fits of laughter. So after what Bob the Science Guy did to my channel, where he strapped a couple of boosters onto the side of my rocket video and sent it sky high, I reckon I should do a little bit of pass that forward and do the same thing. Pay it forward and do the same thing for this guy. So enjoy it, guys, and see if you like him. If you do, I certainly had a chuckle. But it did come at the elongated one's expense, so I guess that's probably why. We'll throw him a sub or two.
Hello, Globetards! Mr. Jimbells once more. I have returned to save you humans from your own stupidity, you poor, ignorant simians. Now, a very tall individual by the name of Phucket Word has decided to conduct experiments in fundamental physics to derive the validity of the theory of gravitation. This is a complex subject with many intricate nuances to it, so it is with great interest I present to you now his arguments that we may identify the silly.
Hello, Flat Earth researchers, debaters and debunkers.
Hello.
I'm going to demonstrate how to create gravity out of thin air.
That would require a particle accelerator. Do you have one of those in your bathroom?
And we're going to use this space right here, which is just air, to create gravity.
Are you absolutely sure about that?
Now, this is usually something that can only ever be performed by qualified mathematicians.
Well, there's your first mistake. 1. Mathematicians isn't an actual thing, so I'll assume you're just being a trifle supercilious. 2. All physicists are mathematicians, but not all mathematicians are physicists. You are dealing with physics, and so to be proficient in mathematics is essential, but irrelevant to any potential physical risks from a physics experiment. Not that that little joke really implied any danger. Our elongated friend has attempted a funny.
Some water and a little pumping device here, and a common or garden balloon, okay? And we're going to magically create gravity that doesn't exist in this space at the moment, but we're going to make gravity suddenly appear.
Of course, there is already quite a lot of gravity in that space there already, what with the several sextillion tons of rock and iron and general planetiness that he stood on. But I'll assume he simply means he will add more gravity to one spot. Charitable, I know, but I do look on you poor humans with more than a little pity sometimes. You're so very fragile. Honestly, if you didn't have us to perk you up, you'd never have made it by now.
So, alright, and now stand by. Are you ready, crew? Yeah, okay, right, they're ready just in case. They've got fire extinguishers and everything, just in case anything goes wrong.
Well, on the one hand, his casual and sardonic delivery appealed to my ironic female sensibilities enormously. However, his magnificent ignorance and Herculean pomposity make me inclined to point out he appears to be speaking as if he had received a major brain injury quite recently. Nonetheless, let us continue.
Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill up this balloon. Now you see here, you see what's happening? This balloon is now becoming a mass.
The balloon always had a mass. That hasn't changed. The water's mass hasn't changed either. Its specific gravity is just the same. Nothing has changed but locations, it would seem.
You see, you nearly messed up there, and you had water all over the place. Could have been dangerous.
Now, I wonder if you would mind doing me a tiny favour, my unintelligible young friend. Would you mind, awfully, dropping the supercilious, patronising and pompous stentorian bluster, you uncharitable and unreasonable oik? Please go outside and play with some fireworks, you ghastly fellow. I do hope you stumble crossing busy traffic.
Okay, you see, I have created a mass out of thin air, just using water.
You have rearranged some masses into that one area of space, with, as you say, some water and a balloon. There is a greater perturbance of the local gravitational acceleration than previously as a result of condensing masses from disparate areas into one. The local field has changed its geometry slightly, but nothing new exists where nothing did before.
And now we're going to see that all of a sudden, this balloon has created gravity where none existed before.
Yes, sadly that's not what's about to be demonstrated as confidently as our enormously elongationally exaggerated compatriot says.
Okay, you ready? 3, 2, 1. There you go.
Right, sorry?
Alright, now I can assure you that that dropped at 9.8 meters per second.
It certainly did. Not only that, but rather incredibly, the entire planet also moved towards the water balloon a microscopic amount. Also, it did so at an equally fixed acceleration.
Because when we created the mass, there was suddenly this magical force that came up from the Earth and pulled it down. And that is how you create gravity in your own home. Thank you very much. It's alright guys, okay, it's safe now.
Damn. So close, and yet so very far. At the last minute there, Mr. Word sped wildly off course and rather made an ass out of himself there. It's not looking good, is it? Now old Puck has forgotten that he stood in a gravity well. If he introduces a perturbation to the field, it will merely manifest as tiny changes to the local gravitational acceleration. If he creates gravity in that area, anything above will fall slightly faster towards it as it is being pulled towards the greater pull of the Earth. Anything below will fall a little slower as it is being pulled back slightly from the Earth by the new mass. All by such a tiny amount as to be unmeasurable by all but the most accurate devices, if at all. Every element of this test was already in the well of gravity and was being pulled more or less with equal potential towards the Earth at all times. No new mass was introduced to the system, and thus nothing reached out to grab it to Earth. Even if, for the sake of argument, Phucket Word could magic some fresh gravity into that area, what on earth would cause the mass that defined it not to be attracted to the much greater gravitational pull it's experiencing from the Earth? Ironically for himself, Phucket Word has done nothing more than confirm the scientific model of Newtonian gravity a little further. It does make me wonder why I bother sometimes. Not to worry, lovely to see you all. Back soon with another silly human to correct. In the meantime, do like, subscribe and hit the bell. And please leave a comment. I'll be happy to put you two-legged little monsters straight on any questions you might have. Toodaloo!